brought this on herself. Hiding behind that technological monstrosity won't save her.
I'll give you one thing, little weasel. You are relentless. I did everything in my power to stop you, yet here you stand before me, offensively alive. Just so we're clear, if you intend to restart this machine, you'll have to go through me. You think that will fool me? I'll die before I let you have this place. That's preposterous. Not too long ago, she wanted me dead. How do I know this isn't a trick to get me out of the way? Nothing but a few brain cells, I suppose. Your intentions are beside the point. I've been working on a cure for 5 years, and I've made no progress at all. If she believes teamwork is all I've been missing, she's more soft-headed than I thought. What? That was our secret phrase. Did she tell you? It was her idea. When I'd been on Gorgon too long, that's what she'd write at the end of her messages. It meant she missed me. That she wanted me to come home. I'll try. It's no guarantee of success. And like as not, we'll develop nothing useful at all. But it will be better than working alone. Thank you, Captain. In the end, you were not at all what I expected.
have to know, Mother. All those years ago, what tipped you off that Gorgon was in trouble?
The volunteers. Not just the shocking way they died, but the company's muted response to it. They were expensive to house, train, and treat. That the company would spare no expense, yet let so many of them die. It was terrible. I dare say not. Even when we made significant progress, Lawrence and his ghouls in OCI slashed our budgets. I knew then I'd lost control of Gorgon. I'd lost control of Adrenatime.
You never told me Gorgon was such a logistical nightmare. We should have had this conversation 5 years ago.
You can't know how badly I wanted to. But the truth put you in danger, and I couldn't abide that.
I owe you an apology, Captain. Not only did I deceive you, but all this time I had the wrong idea about Mother. You're very kind to understand. Kinder than I would be under the circumstances. We still have a great deal of work ahead of us. The years of silence were not easy.
I don't doubt it was hard on you, but I knew you'd come out the stronger for it. We have the chance to know each other now, thanks entirely to you. On Minnie's terms, whatever they may be. I've made enough decisions for her, I think.
Well, there's no need to dwell on the past anymore. We're in the thick of it together, now that we're partners.
Partners? Huh. I suppose we are.
And family, I suppose. This isn't at all playing out the way I imagined it. And for the first time, I'm glad. Part of me will always miss the cold, vindictive Minnie Ambrose. Life was so much simpler when I felt cheated by it.
I'm glad to have you as my daughter, Minnie. But I'm proud to call you my partner. But I fear things will only get harder from here. Indeed. The road to a cure will be long and fraught with setbacks. We will need to find our strength in the work, and our partnership, if we're to overcome them.
You've earned this, Captain. For recovering Mother's journal, for getting us talking in the same room together, and for exceeding my expectations.
Indeed. I have no use for bits and baubles on Gorgon. Not now that I have my work. Take what's yours, Captain. The road to a Marauder cure will be a long one, and the board will surely fight us every step of the way. But this partnership, it's a damn good start.
Will you put the burden of the colony aside for just one moment? Give me a day with my mother before we get back to work.
For you, I will try.
are now in orbit above Byzantium, Captain. I think I'll initiate an unscheduled
Something on your mind? So, Vicky. Can I call you Vicky?
Of course. You may address me however you wish.
Vicky, huh? Okay, Vicky it is. You're really gonna let me run with that, aren't you?
Why wouldn't I?
Anti-Creo's facial mask and cream. Leaves you feeling fresh and cool. Do not operate heavy machinery for 2 hours after application.
The dissonance actually tickles.
Hortense yells at me about big... Dr. Fenhill, have you ever contemplated the fact that we have no direct experience of our own heads?
As usual, I have no idea what you're talking about.
So many.
There's my parents' place. Smell that?
Marilyn, is that you?
Lars, we certainly didn't expect to see you like this.
And I didn't expect you to renew your marriage contract. But we're all full of surprises today, aren't we? Speaking of surprises, you should meet my new friend. We've been running around the system for a while now, stirring up all sorts of trouble. There you go again, Captain. Always menacing polite society. Anyway, you're probably wondering where I've been all this time.
Not exactly.
The last few years have been a bloody haze. You wouldn't believe the messes we've gotten ourselves into. Right? Yep, we're a pair of disgraceful lowlifes.
Marilyn, this really isn't the best time. Perhaps you should go.
We'll stay as long as we like. And while we're at it, we'll drink your expensive hooch, wear our outside shoes all over your nice floors. She's right. Since when can you afford authentic Terran marble?
That's what we've been trying to tell you, dear, but you must understand, we hadn't heard from you in ages.
We thought you were dead.
I'm not dead. I just never wanted to talk to you again.
I'm afraid the distinction was lost on us, darling.
We only did what any grieving parents in our position would do. We collected on your life insurance policy.
And the payouts have been rather, substantial.
You what?
Of course. And we shall always harbor that joyful secret deep within our hearts.
And you'll report it to the insurance company, right?
It's not that simple. For one thing, we'd have to cut back on so many necessities. The neighbors would be sure to notice.
Why did you do that?
We had to explain your disappearance somehow.
We couldn't very well tell people you'd run off to become a miscreant, could we? The neighbors would talk, and not in a good way.
We concocted a story about Celeste Jolly-Curl designing a pair of 12-inch heels for you.
One of a kind, naturally.
That led to your tragic death when you tripped and broke your neck.
It was quite the story. People were talking about it for weeks.
Couldn't you have at least made up a better story? Something with pirates or raptidons? And what are you gonna do now that we're here?
Yes, about that. We were just about to ask you to, leave.
Quietly, if you don't mind.
Well, we're trying to avoid further embarrassment.
I'm afraid it would cause quite a stir if the neighbors saw you two stomping about.
That's it? You just want us to disappear now?
Marilyn, please.
Don't cause a scene.
Damn right, Captain. Fine. I'm gone. Forever this time. Let's talk outside. I need a word. Can you believe those two? We'd hardly been there a minute and they turned us out like yesterday's garbage. I wanted them to get upset. I just thought it would play out differently. They'd both be sitting there watching one of their vapid aetherwave dramas, and then we'd walk in. Mother would drop her mock apple cider, and the glass would shatter all over their overpriced marble. Father would tear off his glasses and blink open-mouthed. I'd have a great one-liner in the tube. I was thinking either, the leather's fake but the scars are real, or, oops, did I just track awesome onto your rug? Yeah, I'm gonna use that one day. Now, getting back to my story. Father would throw his hands up because this would be just like me to come back and make a big scene. Then Mother would do the old, "You had us worried sick." Her eyes would be red and she'd have her fist in front of her mouth to stifle a sob. I just didn't want to get booted out of the house I grew up in like that. It's embarrassing, you know? And I've got a reputation to maintain. I'd love to know how you'd describe getting kneecapped. But I want to talk about me now. Unless you mean the kind who'll look out for you to blink so they could swipe your bits. The galaxy's not exactly crawling with those. Anyway, I don't want to sift through this lousy experience for meaningful life lessons. I'm mad, and I want to do something about it. Something like... Wait a second. What if I could get that money? I could open a new account, designate that account holder as a sole beneficiary. All the payouts would go to me. I'll make money without doing a thing. And I'll get to cut them off. My policy is with the Greater Halcyon Insurance Group. They have an office in Byzantium. Maybe you could use some of your people skills to help me set up a dummy beneficiary account. If that doesn't work, I'm sure we can find one of their terminals and do it ourselves. Something on your mind?
It is endlessly fascinating to me that all of existence is simply atoms, molecules, and chemical reactions, which in turn create and govern our bodies, minds, and emotions. And yet somehow, we still believe we are in control.
I'm afraid I can't come down anymore.
Spacer's Choice Zero
That
Tea
episode
Brew.
from a few
An
weeks
ale
ago.
that's good for what ails you. Auntie Cleo's
If I
Energizing
spit,
Ointment.
think I can hit
Enjoy
the
6
mechanical
cups
down
of
there?
concentrated caffeine in every dose.
Black, you're always going on about destiny. What did your mother do?
She was a simple laborer.
And your father?
The same.
Wouldn't it be
And
something?
you ended up a preacher how?
Better than naked.
Delusion. I could not accept a life that I...
I guess we're going to Fallbrook.
We are now in orbit above Stellar Bay, Captain. No blockade is a match for my piloting skills.
Yes. Knock, knock.
This looks like a place. Ready to get my money or what?
Welcome to the offices of the Greater Halcyon Insurance Group, Halcyon's premier provider of life and disaster-related insurance. I'm obligated to inform you that our coverage does not extend to incidents deemed to result from negligence, criminal activity, or dullness of mind. So, what kind of insurance package can I interest you in? We're running a special on dismemberment policies. Buy one, get one half off. We're not on Monarch. For all practical and tax-related purposes, this office is an official enclave of Byzantium. Oh, it's certainly not about what I say. That's all down to our legal team and our CFO. I remember that one. That's the young socialite who broke her neck, right?
Of course, no one remembers me for the marauders I've killed or the bits I've stolen. Typical.
That claim was airtight. Our best investigators couldn't find an exclusion for that one.
Are you serious?
Well, we interviewed the parents extensively. They had plenty of awkward childhood stories that illustrated their daughter's clumsiness and capriciousness.
Hey, those are entirely made up.
Furthermore, the claim spurred a whole line of fashion-related policies. It's become a very lucrative market. You can't, of course. Only Miss Fenhill can assign her beneficiaries. And she's dead. If we let every friend, relative, and acquaintance change a policy like that, people would do it all the time. Imagine the paperwork. Oh, you mean hypothetically? Well, hypothetically, you'd access the terminal in the back room that contains data on all our policies. And you'd, theoretically, add the beneficiary of your choice. But you wouldn't actually do that, of course. That would be fraud. I'm forbidden from accepting bribes, no matter how tempting. The employee handbook doesn't say anything about that. Very well. I'll need the name of the new beneficiary.
Ellie Fenhill?
If you say so. The payouts will flow exclusively into the new account at the start of the month. I hope Ms. Fenhill enjoys her newfound prosperity. Plenty. As my boss likes to say, there's a policy for every situation and an exclusion for every policy. We've insured unusually expressive eyebrows, outrageous statements, disastrous marriages. Usually character actors, or corporate execs with menacing stares. That policy is almost exclusively for our corporate clientele. In the unlikely event they make a claim about a product that turns out to be less than accurate, they need some kind of protection against the damage to their sales and reputation. Those are mostly for top-rungers in Byzantium who have a lot of social and financial capital wrapped up in their marriage contracts. There's one for your beloved eloping with your sibling, your beloved eloping with their sibling, scandalous rumors forcing you apart, the revelation of a secret love child. We try to cover every possible hazard to domestic bliss. One thing's for sure, you won't find better policy protection against sudden lunar implosions anywhere in Halcyon.
Can we talk? You really did it. Give these payouts a few years and I'll be rolling in it. Hey, you did the real work. All I had to do was not be dead. I'm just glad my folks aren't gonna live off that awful story they made up. Maybe now they'll have to go back to real jobs. come on. I thought we were celebrating. You want me to think about the future? If only you could have been my chief surgeon back in the day. Anyway, enough of that. You did a job for me, so here's your fee. Don't make it weird. Even you've got to be in it for the money now and then. Why else would you go through all this trouble? You sure? Because my kind of friends will pick your pocket clean while they're getting hammered with you. You don't have to get all mushy about it. Still, maybe you've got a point. Maybe it's good to watch someone's back now and then so that one day they watch yours. So, you just keep the money. One of us has to look out for your interests. It's nothing personal. It's just the closest thing I've got to a code. Anyway, enough of the touchy-feelies, huh?
We are now in orbit above Byzantium, Captain. Please avoid damaging yourself or others while you are out.
Impressive place Dr. Chartrand has. After Cascadians,
That's far enough. What are you doing here? How did you even get inside? Hagen? I've never heard of her. Is she from the board? Damn it. I knew this would happen. My what conspiracy? Let's talk about this. Please, I think there's been a crucial misunderstanding. Just give me a second to explain myself. If you still want to shoot me, at least it'll be for an accurate reason. If you came looking for some elaborate scheme, it isn't here. All I'm doing is trying to keep Halcyon alive.
What are you doing, Doctor? This information is beyond classified.
You can write me up in your report. It hardly matters. I'm researching a new way to feed the colony. The crops we transplanted from Earth don't give us the nutrients we need. Our colonists might not realize it yet, but they're starving. Our produce might get us through the day, but we're getting weaker as a species, and sicker.
lack of nutrition also spread like a sickness through Edgewater.
The lack of usable nutrients is compromising our immune systems. Under these conditions, even the common cold could seem like a plague. The food we grow here barely sustains human life. The colony won't last under these conditions. So, the board let me approach the problem from a different angle. I believed that I could adapt humans to live on Halcyon's terms. That I could change us. Give us the ability to derive sustenance from the nutrients the food does have. Look around. We're the only intelligent aliens in Halcyon.
Wrong. We got eyewitness reports. I'd show you myself, but I left my copy of Thrilling Tales back in my bunk.
This isn't some adventure tale from a magazine. Not for lack of trying. I wanted to save them all, but I wasn't strong enough. There are other teams. We didn't want to experiment on human test subjects, so we used the only resources we had. Each other. I'm desperate. I've already asked all the best institutes on Earth for help. Years ago, we sent a message out on the Cornelius Vanderbilt, but heard nothing back. It's been missing for over 2 years now. They never re-established contact after the skip to Earth. Of course, the board is keeping that under wraps.
I can certainly understand why.
Board cover-ups? Vessels disappearing into the aether? Sounds like the work of aliens to me.
The board is uneasy about letting the colony know, seeing as half of their military force vanished without a trace. Exactly. If colonists know we can't feed them or protect them, they'll begin to wonder why they need us at all. Once we can replicate a success, the board will move to rewire our nucleon. With any luck, our next generation will be eating and thriving off Halcyon crops.
I don't understand a word she said, but I don't like her tone one bit.
We haven't made enough strides to advance the plan. Hardly any at all. But we have to keep trying. You came to kill me. I assume that's still on the table. Please don't. If I die, there's no one who can reproduce our work. Every sacrifice will have been for nothing. And we'll be no closer to a solution that feeds the colony. The one on the wanted posters? They say he's an anarchist. A madman, a butcher. I'll do it.
Doctor!
What choice do I have, Commander? For the last time, no. I need to get out of here. Phineas can contact me when he's ready to work together. For now, I'd better pack up the lab and head somewhere discreet.
Not so fast. Captain, what you just learned is beyond your clearance. Hell, it's beyond mine. Give me one reason why I should let you walk out of here alive. Wrong answer.
System alert. Security
That's the last of them!
processing.
What? Thought I saw something.
Watch out, Captain! For this!
What was that?
PM's level head. Feeling a little off balance? You need a level head.
What was that?
We've got a fight on our hands. Here we go.
So then I told him, oh, ha ha ha, that tickles. How... Destination reached. The groundbreaker.
Greetings, customer.
Rizzo's Purple Berry Fudge. A salt sour
Is it done? Well, damn. Contractor grew a conscience. As your employer, I'm both angry and disappointed. I'll add that to your file. Technically, I owe you an exit interview. Care to justify your betrayal of our species? Or are we finished here? You're awfully quick to trust someone who offed her colleagues and called it a good start. Out of my office. We're done.
The thanks we get for showing a little integrity.
What a surprise. Seems we're no longer wanted here.
We are now in orbit above Byzantium, Captain.
Do you mind? I'm meeting someone. Oh. You mean I'm supposed to be meeting you? Yeah, You're looking to make contact with Minister... Magpie, right? I should warn you, it won't be easy. He spends most of his time in his estate, which is heavily guarded. I've always been fascinated by birds. If you ever research Earth species, there are thousands of them, so colorful and distinct. The other thing about birds, though, is their environmental indicators. Exactly. I started thinking about everything we see around Halcyon, and all the things we don't see. For starters, you rarely come across anyone living in Byzantium who wasn't born here, even though we get ships in all the time. Doesn't that seem strange to you? And then there's the way nothing gets fixed. There used to be a suggestion box around here. People would drop ideas in. Nothing ever came of them, of course.
Sounds like my old job. I had all these bang-up ideas, you know? Like making everybody haul their own damn boxes. Never did catch on, though.
That's what I mean. Everyone needs a suggestion box so they can voice their thoughts. So what if nothing changes? Sure, that part is. That's why they install shredders in those boxes, after all. But one day the shredder broke. No one came to fix it. And since it wasn't working, we didn't have anywhere to file our complaints. So you can imagine how messy things got. At first, management put up an out-of-order sign, but that just seemed to worry people, like they were advertising something wasn't working.
Why would the Golden City need suggestions for improvement?
It's really so people can feel heard. Everyone's got something to complain about, you know? They eventually took the whole suggestion box sign down so that people didn't have any expectations about it. But they never fixed it, never replaced it. Doesn't that seem odd to you? Except that's not how they go. At least that's not how they're supposed to go in Byzantium. The whole episode made me wonder, if they can't fix something as simple as a suggestion box, what else aren't they fixing? After a while, I got connected with our mutual friend and started using my position here to feed him information when I could. That's it, really. Whoa, I'm not one of your B&E specialists. I just provide intelligence. Some of the guards hang around Billingsley's House of Inebriation between shifts. Maybe you could do some reconnaissance there. You know, swipe a key while nobody's looking. Whatever. I'm better with bird terms. Afraid not. He almost never leaves his home, and his guards never leave him.